coupon code.
Are you sure this is me? Was it Sarah? Yeah, Sarah's the customer service.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, anyway, we're here for tonight. But
Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do you guys have this ready to eat on the floor?
Yes, I do.
Oh, awesome.
Just don't forget, because I do that all the time.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And then I might eat it, actually.
Well, it is sushi, so I don't know.
I'll definitely eat it.
Okay.
Do you need help with the coupon code?
No.
Okay.
We're good.
Have you been here before? Do you know what to do?
No.
Okay.
My kids have.
Okay.
I have not.
Awesome. Okay, go get an apron and put it that far window.
Okay.
And then just pick a spot. Pick a spot. So it's not taken. Perfect. Okay? Yeah. Okay, guys, sorry. Took me a minute to get my mic working. My little nephew comes and he pushes all the buttons up here. Let me turn that down. Can you guys do me a favor and just scooch in as much as you can if you're in an aisle, okay? That way my helpers get to you. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. So if you're like, there's no more room for me, it's fine. Okay? We'll start in just a second. Thank you, Laura. Wow, everybody gets quiet. Are we good on paint? Yeah? Okay. Can you work the floor till Sarah gets here?
Yes.
I love you. If it's not busy, sit down and paint. Okay. Laura, thank you. You're the best. Okay, who's here for the first time? Do I have anybody? Shayla still raises her hand. Welcome. My name, are you here for the first time? Close, is that what you said? Yeah? Autumn, can you close blinds for me? Okay, so if you're here for the first time, I'm Miss Cammie. We're gonna, all paint this awesome waterfall painting together. You see this? Doesn't this look scary? It's not. It's going to be so fun. It does look scary. It's okay. It's okay. Look, we have the birds on your canvas already. That's like the hardest part, right? No, this is fun. We have a lot of fun techniques, okay, that we're going to do. Hopefully, I think this end table, right, we're just going to hope Miss Sarah shows up soon, okay? Yeah. We're missing a brush for this table over here. No one needs to know. I shouldn't have even said. No, I'm kidding. That's for our trees, and it's that bristly brush you have, the really ugly one. Yeah. And our trees go on really easy. There you go, Robin. Just still from across the table. No, Sarah is on her way to Michael's right now, okay? Right now. Anyway, I'm excited you guys are here to paint with me. You can see I have the same image to start with as you do. And hopefully you're in a seat where you can see at least one TV. There's not a spot that you can't see it, but here's my hand, so you just follow along with me, okay? Pretty simple. If you have questions throughout class for me, just shout them out, okay? If you run out of paint, just raise your hand. Miss Autumn has graciously offered to work the floor tonight. She's actually supposed to be painting in this class, but she's going to work the floor. Everyone, round of applause for Autumn. Thank you, Autumn. My daughter decided she needed to go to a football game. So if you run out of paint, welcome, come on in. Just raise your hand. It's a lot easier for her to get you paint than for you to try and maneuver. Honey, you can just come sit down. Just grab an apron and come sit down. Okay, so just raise your hand. You may have noticed you have a lot of paint today. Okay, so one plate has just your black and white, and then the other plate has your colors. Okay, if you want to switch them up, switch them up. You want to put blue in your water and turquoise in your sky, you can do that. You can see for me, I have blue in my sky, turquoise in my water. Switch it up. You can start your sky in blue and end it in orange instead of this way. Whatever you want to do, okay? It's your painting. Make it your own. You also have 2 jars of water. Do you know why, Sophie? Why, Sophie? Sophia, Do you go by Sophie? Okay. Okay. I went for it. I just decided I knew your name. Okay. What's the 2 jars for? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So we like to keep 1 jar of water clean through class because your paint actually needs water a lot. Okay. So we like to dilute our paint with our clean water so we don't dim our colors with dirty water because they'll actually dry kind of murky if you use dirty water. Okay. So kind of pick a jar for washing and pick a jar for diluting paint. Fun fact, your paint doesn't come out of the bottle ready to use. It always needs water. Okay, so think melted ice cream. That's what you want your paint consistency to be. Okay, any questions? You guys ready? Yeah, okay, keep in mind everyone's painting will look different. We're here for fun, right? We're not Picasso yet. We're working towards it though, correct? Okay, let's do it. I'm going to switch my camera because this is actually a live class too. So fun, but don't worry, you're not on the camera, just me. Okay. All right, after class, you're welcome to come on the stage and wave. All right, do you have a big brush that looks like this? All right, let's get it. We're going to start in our sky. Yeah, you can paint right over your sun and right over your birds. They should show up, okay? The pencil should still be there. Let's pick a jar and get our brush wet. So we're going to work off of this plate to start. So go to your plate of colors and get a scoop of orange. Okay? And you can see you have multiple piles of white. We like to keep them uncontaminated till we need them. Okay? So we're going to start right here and mix. You see how I just mixed half my white? And look at how my mix is really rough. Do you know why? It'll streak on our canvas better and give our sky all those different lights and shadows, okay? You can start painting, honey. So just give it a rough mix, and then we're going to start at the top. I might add a little more orange. I think I want it a little darker because I'm going to start in my darkest and go down my canvas to lighter orange, okay? So I'm going to add a little bit more. Keep in mind your paint will dry a shade or two darker on your canvas than it does on your plate. We're going to start up at the top, and we're going to do horizontal brush strokes, okay? Now you can see, I can still see my sun. Hopefully you can too. I'm OCD, I like to wrap my canvas, okay? You're working on a huge canvas today. Why? Because the world decided to not give me 14 by 18s in time for this class. This is a 14 by 18, you're painting on a 16 by 20, so it's a little bit bigger, okay? We used to paint on these all the time, but then we thought, oh, let's get a little smaller, and we did this size. So if you need to flip it on its side, flip it upside down. Some of us are smaller than others, okay? Do what you need to do. Yes? Oh. Uh-huh. If your brush is already loaded, just go from bottom to top, okay? All right. So, couple tips when painting with acrylic, which is what we're using. It will only blend wet into wet, so we have to move fast, okay? Second of all, when you're doing a horizontal brush stroke, try and move all the way across your canvas, almost off your canvas before you pick up your brush. Otherwise, every time you pick up your brush, there will be like a little dent where your brush stroke ended, okay? If you can see the little pockets on your canvas as you're brushing your paint, like you can, honey, okay, those little white pockets, you need to put more paint on your brush or your paint needs to be diluted. Melted ice cream, okay? After I get my darkest orange, I'm going to just add more and more white to my brush as I come down, okay, to kind of create this ombre effect, okay? I'm going to go up into my orange, darker orange, and back down, up and down. That's how we keep from getting like stripes, okay? Blending up and down. If your brush automatically just offloads these darker streaks or whatever, just let it be. That's fun. Makes it a little bit more natural. So I don't know if I finished saying wrap your canvas as you go, but I meant to finish that. Did I finish that? I don't really know. But yeah, wrap the edges as you go. That means the top and sides of your canvas. If you're OCD like me, you want to wrap those so you can display it and it's all finished and you don't have these bright white sides, okay? So after we come not even halfway, just under halfway down with our orange, I'm not going to wash my brush, but I'm going to go into my yellow, get a scoop, and then mix it with white. Okay, so now I'm working in my yellows, and you notice I'm right by my orange. Not a big deal. These are friends. We're friends. We like each other. Okay. Now we're going yellow. And that orange that's still on our brush will keep peeking through, which is just fun as we come down, okay? Now, when it comes to your birds and your sun, some of us might lose them. It depends on how much paint you have on your brush. It depends on how thick you're applying your paint. You can see mine barely, but as it dries, they'll come even more to the foreground, okay? So if you lose your birds completely, you know, a good rule of thumb when painting is to not panic until you have to. And we're not there yet. We don't need to panic yet. We're not painting birds yet. When we get there, if they're completely gone, then we'll panic, okay? And we'll address it then, all right? So now I just added a good chunk of white to my brush and really lightened this last section before I go into my blue. Why is that? Because we're going from warm to cool. And what happens if they blend together? Brown, yeah, well, yellow, yeah. Yellow and our blue will make green. But orange and blue will brown, okay? If you want a green sky, I hold no judgment, okay? But if you want a blue sky, you want to go kind of orange, yellow, super light yellow. And then you want to stop. And you want to wash your brush, okay? Now, I know I'm moving so fast, you guys are all like, holy cow, can't keep up. It's because I want to get a blend, and I can only do that wet into wet, okay? But I also like to finish a little bit before you, so I can kind of walk around and see how people are doing. So don't panic if you're falling behind a little bit. Some of you will be behind the whole class, and that's fine, okay? We all paint at different paces and speeds. I'm going to wash my brush now. Wash it pretty good. Get that yellow and orange out of it. Okay. Huh? The blend. Okay, what you want to do, Sophia, is paint into your colors, okay? So don't be afraid to go into your colors. Do you see what's happening? Look at what's happening. It's no longer stripes, right? You did. Okay. That's how you get a good blend. If you're just going, okay, here's my orange section, here's my yellow section, here's my white section, that's going to happen. If you're not pulling that brush into your color and then back out, it's just going to be stripes. Okay, washing my brush. Check it in your clean water and get that clean water on your brush. Now I'm getting a scoop of my blue. Not turquoise unless that's what you want. Oh, there's my plate. Okay, then just some of my white, right? Not the whole pile. We're using what we need, okay? If we run out, we can make more, ask for more paint, but we're just using what we need. A rough mix of light blue. I'm going to start at my water line now, down here, okay? If you get some in your water, like I just did, again, we don't panic until we have to, and it's fine. Our water's turquoise. Blue and turquoise are friends. Okay, now, after I get this darker blue on here, like this, wipe my brush on a paper towel and just load with white. And now I'm going to blend that. and come up and meet my yellow as lightly as I can so that I don't have a green sky. Okay? Again, this is fast. I understand this is fast, okay? A good trick too is just to put a chunk of white on one corner of your brush to blend that part where the yellow meets it, okay? Questions, guys? Shout them out to me. We can chat while we paint. It's okay. So what do we do when that blue and that yellow are meeting? We wipe the blue off of our brush and we just load it with white. And we blend that white in and out of our yellow. Little streaks of blue will show up in your yellow. You might even have this tiny green hue. I don't think you can see it because of the TV, but I can see little bits of like lime green happening in this area, but it's not a ton, so it's not overwhelming. That's okay. Are you okay with the sun? Is it bugging you? Okay. Sorry, you have the special chair that when the sun hits just right, there's like a 10-minute period where you're like, and then it goes away. Okay. But sometimes we hang an apron right there to help, so just let us know. Okay. All right, I'm going to come check you guys out. Your painting's out is what I mean. And some of you have some really good blends, so awesome job. Try and pay attention to the edges of your canvas. Some of you might be like, I'm done, I'm good, moving on. Check the edges, okay? Because what's hard is to go back and try and match the color on the front to the edges. What's up? Are you? Okay, I'm going. Ronnie Joe. Talent. Okay. So let's get your brush. So your yellow's fine. You're not losing it too much, honey. We're going to just load white on here. So what's happening? Do you see that curve? Our arm gets tired and we have the rainbow effect happening. Okay. So we're going to keep it. Do you have a rainbow effect as well? She's like, oh, maybe. She's like, that's what's happening. Yeah, it's totally normal because our arm gets tired and we start to bend and not even notice it. So let's really load on that white to get that section, okay? See this slight green happening? That's happening on mine too, you just can't see it, okay? So that's okay. We just don't want it to be like, oh, the sky is green, there's a tornado coming, you know? Well, I'm from the south, so tornadoes were a very real thing. So you see how I'm just washing it anytime I see too much blue in my brush? Yeah, so just kind of play with it. But do you see how I'm working up and down? So I work up and then I come back down. Okay. Looks pretty good. I would maybe blend a little more orange up here. I'm going to get you another paper towel. Yeah. You know, maybe a little more orange up in here. Okay. Because it's starting to dry, so we're not getting that awfully. Let me get you another paper towel. It looks like a Hawaiian vacation in here. There you go. Arkansas. All right, friends. Let me give you a tip Once acrylic paint starts to dry, it enters a sticky phase. Okay? And then the more you paint over it, you start to lift your paint instead of lay it down. Okay? So if you've been painting over one spot and it's like it's not covering, it's not going down, you've entered the sticky phase. Let it dry and then go back. Okay? I came over here. Nope, I already got that. I already got that. I don't know. Okay. Back I go. Okay, everybody doing okay on paint and everything? Yeah? Okay. Check your edges, wash your brushes. We're going to move on to the next step. Or your brush, I guess. Uno brush. Again, if you have questions, talk to me. Holler out at me. Okay? Yes. Yes. So pretty. How's the blue to orange going over here? Pretty good? Yeah. Hi. So yeah, just really give this section white. That's when you've got it up here, but lighten your yellow to meet it. Does that make sense?
Okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
put more yellow on there.
Yes.
Should I do that?
Yes. It just needs to be lighter than this. Okay. Who was talking to me about a paper towel? This one? Is that you? Okay, here's you. Oh, I know what I was going to do now. Okay, here's one for you. Who else said? You? Okay. Sorry, girls. You're in the sun, too, for just a minute. It'll go away. Oh, you're good. Just flip yours over. Okay? All right, let's go into our water. Okay? So I'm still working off my white and black plate. So I'm going to get a scoop of turquoise. Still using my big brush. I'm going to work in the pile that I had my blue. And I'm going to mix it. Same thing with the sky. I'm going to mix it rough. But I'm going to start with my darkest value or shade of turquoise. And then as I get to the waterfall, it's going to lighten up. Okay? So start with your darkest. And you'll probably get like one solid brush stroke in of that dark before you start to lighten. Okay? Now this edge up against what will become your tree line doesn't have to be super perfect yet. Okay. Okay, so I'm basically, you good? Are our arms tired? Yes. It's like a workout. Yeah. I know, you get painters back after a while. What's up? Turquoise. So get a scoop of turquoise and go to your white. After you get like literally that one stroke in, then I'm just going to start adding white to my brush. I'm going to wipe the turquoise off on my paper towel and just add white. Okay. And it'll automatically turn into light turquoise because of how much turquoise is already on my canvas. Same with the moon and not the moon. We're not painting a moon, guys. It's fine. I'm okay. We are painting a sun. But same as in the sun, we painted over it. You can paint into your rocks. Okay? It's not going to hurt anything. You should still be able to see them for the most part. So the trick is once we get to about this part of our painting, we're going to stop. So we want it to lighten. And there's a glare right now, guys. So sorry, wet paint and cameras and lights give you glares. But basically, by the time you get to this point of your water, right before your waterfall starts to go over the rocks, you want it to be pretty light. Okay? And the reason you want to brush into your rocks slightly is because you don't want to get to your rocks and then be like, so my water doesn't touch my rocks. You know, that's why you kind of want to paint over them just a little bit, so you know that you got all the way to that point, okay? You can add chunks of white to your brush and just brush in some highlight. We're going to do shadows too. See how in our water there's a lot of like dark up by the tree? Well, you can't really see it in the light either, but it's dark up by the tree. We're going to do that still. But if you want to add like the white streaks, do that now, okay? So you just put a little chunk of white on a corner of your brush, like this, and then you just kind of streak it in. The trick with any streaky anything is not to brush too much, because then it'll just blend in and you'll no longer have a streak. You'll just have a lighter color. You need a wipey. Autumn, can you get a wipey, honey? Thank you. Who needed the wipe? Okay. Okay, so you want to just wipe the turquoise off. Lots of white. Okay, so you want your water to go from dark to light right before the waterfall takes place, okay? Make sure you wrap your edges. Okay, so same thing with the sky. If we can make our brush stroke go start off the canvas and end off the canvas and not pick it up, we won't have that little indent where we've picked up our brush every time, okay? So if you're getting that, just know that that's why. You kind of have to brush fully across, okay? How we doing? There's a lot of happening. So this is kind of the tedious work because we have to fill so much space right now, okay? Don't forget that you're going to have trees and rocks. And a lot of what's happening on your canvas is going to be distracted by other things. So if there's a part that you really don't like, you're going to be able to hide it. That's an artist's secret. You can put a tree where you don't like something. Yeah, just right. It happens. Have you been to Oregon? Trees pop up everywhere. She knows. All right. Autumn, I missed the, I lost the remote to the AC. Can you help me find it? I found it. Lots of bodies in here. It gets warm. Robin, you're getting so fast, I can't even keep up with you anymore. Ah! Brushes have arrived. Natalie, you are a good sight to see. That's all. You bought them all out? Okay, I think it's ask Autumn what table needs them, okay? We got a hand up over here. What's up, girl? It's okay. Don't worry about it. If you paint it all the way down your waterfall, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Remember, we don't stress until we have to. It's fine. We can cover up these things. Okay. Natalie, is your mom still in the car? She hiding from us? Oh, but you're going to work the floor for me? Sweet. lots and lots of practice, okay? And muscle memory, because our brush reacts to pressure, okay? Light pressure will give us a different result, okay? And do you see how I'm keeping my brush horizontal? Or, yeah, horizontal and straight, okay? And then I'm like, oh, I want to add some streaks. Your water is pretty light, so you can even go, I need some dark streaks in order to see. But you see, it's like a feather on my cheek. That's the pressure I'm putting on my brush, okay? I know, I'm sorry, sweetie. I might put an apron up.
It'll light your artwork.
Do you see how it's just really gentle, and then you start to get it, okay? Natalie, when you get a second, will you hang an apron on that door for the sun? What's up? Yeah. All right, friends. We are going to move on to our rocks. And all of Miss Emma's tracing work isn't going to matter in these rocks because we're about to cover it up. She loves that. That's like her favorite thing. Who did I get water for? There you go. All right. So let's make sure our big brush is washed. I put it in my bucket. You did do it. Yeah, you did. That's good. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into our rocks. So I'm still going to work off of this plate. Okay. I'm going to get a nice big scoop of my brown and move it to this plate. Just try and hang it. I like to hang it on that thing and maybe tie it to the, yeah. It's this little girl in the red shirt right here. It's in her eyes. Okay, so I'm going to mix some black with that. Guys, start with such a little bit of black, okay? Like it's really strong. So see how much black's on my brush? I want to mix that into my brown. So I'm basically just darkening my brown. Get a nice chocolate color. Dark chocolate. Okay, so I moved a big scoop of brown to my plate with black. But if you have more clean space on your other plate, you can work off of that. You just have 2 plates. There's so much happening on these tables. I love it. We should make art from all the plates that we're using. So I just want to darken it to like a deep chocolate color, okay? And now I'm going to fill in my rocks, okay? If your water is wet, it should be fine. Yeah. On your canvas. Guys, don't make life hard for me today, okay? Yeah, let me just say weird things and make sense, okay? Okay, so I'm actually going to take my rocks and kind of paint them into my waterfall. You see this? Brown is really shy, so you're going to be like, all right, we're going to need another layer because I see a lot of brush strokes. Don't put it on really thick to compensate for, good job, Natalie. We don't look white trash at all with our apron hanging up. It's fine, we're fine. How's the sun now, girl? Good, okay. Yeah, a little bit. And not all of your brown, okay? Unless you need all your brown, then totally use it. Anyway, as I was saying, it's probably going to need another layer, and we will go back to it. So don't put it on really thick to compensate for it. Just get it on there and let the streaks happen for now. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. These pencil marks that Miss Emma traced on there so nicely for you don't really matter because we're going to cover them up. Okay, but she really is such a gem to put them on there. I always forget to tell her what not to do. Okay. So also make sure you're wrapping your edges, okay? So let me show you why we're painting through our waterfall. Do you see how our waterfall ends? Okay? You can see the rocks behind it. The waterfall doesn't come all the way off our canvas. It sort of stops. Okay? So that's why we want that that rock behind it, okay? You are going to want to flip your canvas on its side or upside down so that you can paint the bottom of your canvas too. So the longer we paint, the more water our paint will need because it's sitting on our plate and it's starting to seize up. Don't forget the melted ice cream, guys, okay? It'll save you from a lot of headache if you understand that concept. So I'm just kind of painting like a smiley face right in the middle of my rocks. Okay? I know, smiley face, where's the smiley face? It's right here. Does everybody have the right paintbrush, Natalie? Did we have enough, Natty? Woo! Michael saves the day again. Support your local Michaels. This is not paid advertising, but they always save us. All right. Yeah, just like that. Doesn't have to be pretty. These are rocks, guys. Okay? Get your paint in there. If you see streaks, it's fine. Kind of think of that dip that we just put in as where the water will start to rush over. So if you don't want your water to rush over till down here, that's where you can do your dip. But just kind of think, okay, that's where my water is going to start going over. Okay? Okay, I'm going to wash that brown out of my brush really, really good. Because we're going to put a layer in our sun. So this brush is getting a lot of use tonight, you know? So we got to make sure we're cleaning it good. Remember, really good clean. You can check it in your clean water when you're done. If your clean water gets a little murky, like a little hazy or whatever, don't worry about that. It doesn't have to be like crystal clean the whole class, okay? We just want to keep it cleaner than our washing jar, right? Okay. It's looking beautiful already, I do believe. Clean brush. We're going to put our sun in white, okay? Cheers, Robin. Stay hydrated. All right, here we go. You should be able to see your sun. Some what? More white? Yep. Natalie, white over here. Okay. We're going to put our sun in white. If you can see it, woohoo! If you can't see it and you're super nervous and you want a piece of chalk to chalk in the sun before you paint it, just to give you like a starting point, raise your hand. Natalie will get you some chalk, okay? I am going to move to my clean white here. I still have a pile. Clean white. We use so much white, so if you need more white throughout class, don't be embarrassed or too shy to ask. Natalie, did you get chalk for that one on the end? Is that what you needed, honey? She wants a piece of chalk. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for white. We use a lot of it. Okay, I'm going to paint in my sun white. This will also need another layer. So don't overcompensate by putting it on really thick. And give yourself grace. Nothing is harder than painting a good circle, okay? It is seriously a never-ending nightmare sometimes. Trauma. I love that someone said trauma. We're traumatized by these circles. They tend to grow is what happens. They just get bigger and bigger because we're like, hey, if I just stick at that one edge just better, it'll look better. And then they get bigger and bigger. Okay? Oh, I got stuck. Okay, so just get a layer on there. Natalie, you don't have any party you're missing tonight? Or are you? You're so sweet to come in. Natalie's my niece. Miss Sarah's daughter, one of her daughters. And she has the wipies on hand. If you've not been to our class, the Clorox wipes have alcohol in them. So if you get paint where you don't want it, yep, she knows. She knows about that magical wipe. All right. How's our sun? Did we get a layer in there? Remember, you're going to see brush marks. You're going to see streaks. You might not on mine, again, because of my lighting, but I can see streaks. So it's fine. We're going to go back to it. So we're not stressing about that. We're just getting layers on, okay? It's time for our really ugly bristly brush that gives us such cool things. If you got this brush wet at all during the class, get it out of your water and dry it. We want it dry, okay? Use the your apron or the tablecloth to really squeeze the water out as much as you can, okay? They retain a lot of water, okay? This is the brush we're using. If you don't have one of these, like the people that are painting at home, maybe you don't have one of these, you can do this with just a really old brush that has a really bad hair day. That'll work too, okay? You have this one at home? Well, a lot of people use this for stenciling, so that might be why. Okay, but we're going to do this tree line. Before we start, let's just talk about it. Do all my trees look the same? No. The side of your canvas where the sun isn't is where you want your tallest trees, okay? Because we're balancing, right? The sun is on one side, our tallest tree is on the other side, okay? And then when we come to this side, there's a little dip right here because that's fun. But if you want to go straight across, that's fine. Just make sure you're different in every little tree or bush, okay? Don't make cookie cutter because that's not nature, okay? Are we all okay? Are we all with me? This guy over here on the end, are you doing okay? I keep looking over at you and I'm like, yeah. If you need anything, you just holler out, okay? This can be stressful, all right? Is your daughter's calling you out over there. All right, now I'm going to work off of this plate. But I'm going to get a scoop of black with my brush, okay? Scoop of black. Mix it in. I want a really deep, dark green. I'm starting in the shadows. Okay? I might get another scoop. You almost want them to look black in the background. Notice I'm not mixing all of my green, though, okay? Don't mix all your green. But I'll show you. You see how portions of this, it almost looks black, right? The shadow in the tree, right? So you really want that deep dark green, okay? Okay, now we are going to brush. We're not going to brush. We're going to pounce, all right? We are going to pounce. This is pouncing, okay? Here we go. Just start pouncing, okay? Now we got to fill all this into our water line. Woo! The panicking has begun. Oh no, we are pouncing these trees all the way across. Have fun with it. Yeah, have fun with it, okay? This is fun. Okay, look, I'll come up and I'll pounce my tallest tree, right? There's my tallest tree. Oh yeah, we're going to start bouncing like crazy. So if you want to stand up and hold your canvas onto your easel, because you might start knocking to the people on the other side of you, okay? But it's totally normal. Just do the best you can, okay? It doesn't yet. We're going to make them look like trees. It's just going to look like a blob for a minute. All right, here we go. Pouncing away. Okay, you want to cover it all the way to the water line. Pounce all the way to the water line. If you get a little bit of tree in your water, it's totally fine. Just don't go too far in your water. We're going to put a shadow there so that we're going to blend that area. So we're going to be okay. But well, do mine look like trees? Kind of. Well, that's because you know what I'm doing. You know what the end result is, okay? I don't want you to think of a pine tree. I want you to think of a big, round, what tree am I thinking of, Robin? A bush. I'm thinking of a bush. A bush. A bush. I'm bush. That's all I got, guys. We're doing bushes, okay? A big tropical tree. Yes. I mean, if you want to make pine trees, it's your painting, right? There's a lot of canvases just make sure there's like little separations in your trees too, okay? So you guys, this is the shadow part of our tree, okay? So we're not defining our tree yet, okay? If anybody, the table's rocking too much for you, hold your canvas like this. And do trees. I paint like that a lot. That's good. That's fine. Oh, do we have an extra one of these? Two more. Do you have two more? That's why we were out of these brushes. They're super cheap and they fall apart, but they give you good trees. Okay. If you happen to go too high on one of the trees and your tall one is no longer the tallest one anymore, go back to it and make it taller. Because we really want one of our trees to stand out among the others. Okay? Hey, if you like your trees and they don't even look like trees yet, that's awesome. Make sure you go around your edges, okay? Pounce your edges as well. I don't want you to wash your brush. I want you to just set it aside. Unless you did. It's fine. Oh, that's a new one. Okay. Okay. Know when to stop. Remember, we're not reaching perfection today or ever because we're just too critical of ourselves. Okay? When you're like, oh, you know what? I don't love it, but I'm okay with it, call it good. Set your brush aside. And you're going to be amazed at what happens when we start to put the light into our trees. They're going to become trees and not just blobs of weird shapes, okay? All right, let's see. What should we do? What should we do? Let's go put in some shadow in our water. Are we done pouncing for the most part? I think so. Okay. Get your big flat. Get it wet in your clean water. Shay, are you raising your hand? Were you raising your hand? No? Okay. It does. Make it a bushy cat. Okay, so just put your dirty brush down. Don't wash it. Put it down. My brush is wet. I'm running my fingers down it to get the drippy out, but I don't want to dry it. I still want it damp. So it's wet with clean water, my friends. Okay. I'm going to take my brush. Take your brush and go to your green that's not mixed with black if you have a little corner of it. Okay? And look how much paint's on my brush, just half of it. Or not even half, a quarter of it. Come to the bottom of your tree line. Okay? We're going to start, you know what? Let's go to that same color as our tree instead. Because we got to clean up. There we go. We're cleaning up right under our tree line. Mine's already dry, so I'm having a hard time. Yours is probably wet. I have to, your tree should be wet, so it should blend in. My trees are not still wet. Then get your detail brush and kind of fill in all the way to the tree line, the water line. Okay, so you don't have anything poking through. What? Nope, don't wash it. So I have a clean, flat brush. It's damp and it has the tree color on one edge. And I'm trying to clean up that tree line with that edge and shadow my water. Okay. So it might take a lot of paint on that corner depending on how dry your tree. A little lot. I don't really know what I'm saying. Just roll with it. Yeah, just one corner, and that corner is where you're creating that. Yep. I'm going to come down with that color, though. This is where I'm going to add that shadow in my water. Okay. So I'm lightly brushing. Feather against the cheek pressure. So this is the tree color. I'm using my tree color. Okay, now, is that going to work for everybody? If your tree color is almost black and that green's not showing through, then you probably just want to use the green. No. Don't wash your pouncy brush. Whatever you do. Okay, there's a lot of glare on my water, so I'm going to show you this. It's still glary. Let me turn this light off for a minute. Do you see how it's got like right under the trees is that darker line, and then we have these little dark streaks in our water? It's the shadow. That's what we're trying to get. Little dark shadows, okay? If your brush has green on all the bristles straight across, go ahead, wash it, rinse it in clean water, and reload. Sometimes we have to do that. Okay, and then just lightly brushing in, trying to keep my brush horizontal in the stroke. And I'm putting in streaks of shadow, because what does water do? It ripples. Okay. All right, where are you? Are you okay? So my brush is clean. I'm gonna wash it, right? Okay. Then I'm gonna go to my clean water and rinse it. Okay, now I'm running my fingers down it. I'm not squeezing all the water out. I just don't want drippy. Okay, so just a little bit. Then I'm going to go to my tree color and I'm going to dip the corner of it in there. Okay, so less is more when you start this process because you can add, but you can't take away. And then use that corner to go all the way across under your trees. Once you're all the way across, then just lightly start brushing some of that shadow into your water. This is all about pressure. Okay? That's why I like to say feather on your cheek pressure. You know? Then if you're like, whoa, my whole water became one big shadow, go back to your watercolor and brush some more watercolor in. Does that help? Okay. Yeah, so you have it all the way across your tree line, right? Let me see your brush. Okay, so wash it, rinse it, damp, put a little less like this on a corner, and then do your little streaky shadows. Okay? So the reason why it's not straight across is I'm putting pressure right here and then I'm lifting my brush slightly and then pushing again. I'm not picking my brush up. I'm pressing. I'll pull slightly away and then I'll press again. It's all about pressure. It's confusing until you build that muscle memory in your head and then it just happens. I know, honey. I know. It's real. It's a real struggle for us. We're just doing the best we can. We're going to have a beautiful painting regardless. If you start the shadows and you're like, not for me, just stop and don't do them. Okay? You're the one that has to look at your painting. Okay? You have to, because you're not throwing it away. So you must look at it every day. So don't do a step that's going to make you hate it just because I did it. Make that decision not to do it. Okay? All right. Natalie, when you get a minute, I would get the brown ready because I'm going back to rocks and I have a hunch that we're going to need more. Okay? All right. Time to go back to our rocks, ladies and gentlemen. You're good? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can leave it a moon. All right, so I'm going back to my rocks. My brown paint for my rocks is dried up. I'm going to get it, but I have more brown on my other plate, so I'm going to get a scoop. Okay. Ooh, that's green. Don't get into your green. Get a little black, mix it together, right? That's our rock color. Let's quickly put another layer on our rocks, okay? This layer usually goes on really quick because the base is there. Natalie, I might actually need some more brown too when you get a minute. So yeah, we're just adding another layer. Just get it on there. So our streakies are gone. We've got good coverage, and we want our rocks wet because we're about to make all the, we're going to define each rock. So once you put your layer in, don't wash your brush. Keep the brown on it. Okay, just a second, honey. Natalie will come find you in a second. Yeah. Autumn, when you get a second, we've got some brown needs on the floor. Can you get to it? Thanks, girl. Okay. If you need more brown, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we need brown. Brown on the floor. Okay, while you're waiting for your brown, I want you to watch how I do this, okay? Here's my rock color. My brush is full of my rock color, okay? I'm going to put the tip of my brush in white. Just the tip. Okay? Now I'm going to define my rocks. I'm going to use the toe of my brush. What does that mean? I'm not laying my brush like this. I'm facing my canvas on the toe. I'm going to follow my rock, shape it however I want, like that. Okay? I might do a little more white so I can see it and you can see it. Okay, here's my rock shape. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to take my brush, go to that rock line, and pull away. What do we get when we're done with that? Thank you. Yeah. We get this. Do you see those pull away streaks? So we follow our rock line, then we pull away. Not all the way across, just slightly away. Okay? You can pull away on some strokes a little bit more than others. I'm going to create another rock right here. Use the toe. It's not a corner anymore, it's a toe, so remember that. And then you're pulling from that line that you just made, pulling away from it towards the edge of your canvas. Pressure, pressure, pressure is really important. If I push on my brush from the beginning of my stroke to the end, it's just going to be a line. But if I press hard at the beginning and then kind of flutter away, it's going to end instead of just being this really harsh line. Okay? Every time I go back to load for another brush, I load brown, tip of white. Brown on all my bristles, tip of white on the toe. Okay? Now I'm going to follow the top of the rock that I didn't do yet, that goes into the falls. Brush away. The best thing is to do this when all your paint is nice and wet, because then it will blend, right? It won't blend once we're dry. You can come back and put like more white in if you're like, hey, I can't even see that. Put in some stronger white strokes. We're using the toe of our brush, right? So all of that dark brown is remaining our shadow. That's why between each rock, we're not going to paint. We're going to leave it dark. Okay? We're going to try anyway, right? We're doing our best. On this side, my rocks are different, right? Because in nature, we don't have cookie cutter rocks. Every rock is different. But on this side, I'm going to go same thing around, but then I'm pulling the opposite direction, right? Again, just towards the edge of my canvas. Don't be too hard on yourself, because this kind of brush work and technique is really so much about just lots of experience and pressure. You have to understand what happens when you put a lot of pressure on your brush and when you don't, okay? Now, if you get a minute like I do where I'm like, whoa, that's a whiteout situation, load with your rock color and brush back into your white, okay? Those things happen. So on this side, I'm just kind of doing just something different. Instead of 3 tiers, I'm only going to have 2. Again, I just don't want to create the same idea on each side of my waterfall. I want it to be different. How are we doing on these rocks, guys? Oh, wow. Success is happening in the studio. We are... Guys, understand that whiteout happens just as often and maybe stronger than blackout. Okay, white is a strong pigment. It's actually the strongest of all of our pigments. Okay, if you're like, now I have snow-covered rocks in the middle of a waterfall and a nice sunny day, go back to your rock color and just cover that up and start again. Okay. It's really okay. And sometimes we have to work something over and over again before we get the result that we want. Also, we're going to have water coming over these rocks, and you can put that water. It can be a big fall, big waterfall. Okay? Guys, I've never really met a rock that didn't have some, what am I thinking? Blemishes? I don't know. They're rocks, guys. Yeah, my husband is a big just rock lover. I don't know how to explain this. He just he likes rocks. A rock count? Oh. My husband's a rock hound. Wow. I didn't know there was a name for it. So it's a, oh my gosh, I should Google this and be like, babe, there are people for you. You have a group. Oh, are you a rock hound, Robin? Oh, I met no. Oh, there's a class. Oh my gosh. Okay. So whenever we go to the Oregon coast, there's like the beaches that have like volcanic rock that becomes really smooth, like cool black rocks. When we went through security coming home, they had to stop his bag and get these boulders. They're like, "What are these?" And he's like, "They're my rocks from the beach." I'm like, they let him take them home, but yeah, he's just on his desk. He just has these big black boulders, and then he has these little ones from Zion or whatever. I don't know, guys. It's weird. All right. You're not, it's not weird. You're right. I thought it was strange, but now that there's a whole society, I feel like this could be cool. All right. How are we doing on our rocks? Guys, if they're like super too white for you, make a light brown and do the same technique with the light brown instead of just white. Yeah. Because if you're just whiting out too much, yeah, just use light brown instead of white. Okay, maybe your brush didn't have the same amount of brown on it as mine did. Guys, we're like on the home stretch. It's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun, right? There's no failing in the studio. We are all artists. What's the definition of an artist? Artist is a creator. You are creating, therefore you are an artist. Right? Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Okay. Know when to stop. Know when your rocks are just going to have to look like that. All right? Be okay with it. Embrace it. You're learning. It's okay, honey. You might benefit. Help me. You're not Capri and you're not Sophie. It will come. Charlotte. You might benefit by making a light brown instead of just using white. So go over the same thing you did with a light brown. That way it doesn't look like snow, okay? Unless you want it to snow. All right. We're going to go back to our trees. Okay. You guys, we're going to make a lime green. How are we doing? Are we mostly done with our rocks? Ronnie Joe is. Ronnie Joe's ready to make those trees into something awesome. Okay, we're going to make some lime green. Get your big brush over here to this plate. Britney Spears is going to take us home with these trees, okay? Let's make some lime green. So we're going to mix yellow and green together. Okay, remember, look, this is my tree color. This is my dark, dark, dark green. I kept some green, though. Hopefully we all did. If you didn't, raise your hand. And I'm scooting it and adding some yellow to it. The more yellow you add, the more lime you get. That's up to you. You want to go really lime? Go really lime. This is mine. Okay. All my 90s girls in here. Let's do it, okay? So we're making some lime green. Now, I'm going to add some white to this too. Okay, so I'm going to come to my other plate. You can even use some of your light yellow from like the sky. If you're out of white, you can get some of that light yellow. Same thing. Come over here, lighten this up. This will start to tell you how lime you are because this green will actually turn into this color of turquoise if you add white. Okay? It's crazy, right? So you want to add more yellow to make it a little limier. Go for it. Yep. I think I'm happy with this color, but I really won't know until it's on my canvas, so we're going to go with this, though. Okay. Once you have your lime green that makes your heart happy, you just want to make sure it's several shades lighter than your trees, okay? You don't want it to be like, oh, that's close to my tree color. No. See my tree color and my lime green. Okay, pop that brush in the water. We'll wash it in a minute. We're going to go back to our help me. That one brush. Pouncing brush, the tree brush. That brush, okay? All right. If you mixed your lime green with this brush, try and wipe it out. Okay? Yeah, it's okay. Just try and wipe it out. You can use if your paper towel's like done for the day, use the tablecloth. You can use the tablecloth. All right, here I go. I am going to make sure that dark tree color's on my brush, guys. It's on my brush. Okay? But then on one side of it, are we watching? Watch. If you're mixing your lime color, stop and watch. All of my tree colors on there. Half of it now I'm going to put into my lime green. That half of my brush are my tree tops. My tree tops. Okay? So I'm going to face my trees with this on the top, not that on the bottom. Do you see that? Not like that, like this. Okay? These are my tree tops. These are my tree tops. Okay, here we go. The top of my tree. This tree's coming down. Look at my trees. I'm going to make different trees. I'm throwing you off tonight. I got so many surprises. Okay, if you can't see it very well, add some white to it because you're going on a dark surface. I need white in mine, I can already tell. You're going against a pretty dark surface. So if you need to add some white, stop for a minute, get your big brush, mix in some white with your green. It's really going up against a dark, dark green, so we want to be able to see it, right? So there we go. I lightened mine with some white. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's a tree or two. Who knows? Here's another one. Here's a bush, another bushy tree. Okay. I'm going to do the tops of this one. Remember, this is my tree top, right? My tree top. Guys, this is fun. This is making art with just this ugly, bristly, not ugly bush. Guys, don't lose your shadow. Okay, remember. You good? We need another paper towel, Natalie, for Charlotte. Charlotte is standing up. Charlotte needs 2. This girl needs 1. That girl needs 1. We got 4. Bring the whole bucket. Bring the whole roll of paper towels. Okay. Don't lose your shadow, friends, okay? Now, we already went into our water, correct? Where our water is done. Don't pounce into your water, okay? If you cannot see this lime green color right now, you're not going to see it at all when it dries. Make it light enough that you can see it really well right now. Okay? If it just looks like it's barely there right now, when it dries, it won't be there at all. Make sure you can see it, okay? Every time you look at your canvas, I want you to think, what bushy tree is in the foreground? That one's going to be in the front, right? So you can see these are in the front. Then we get further and further away. We're creating distance in our painting. A lot lighter. Look at this. That compared to that, lighter. And more of it. Yes, you may. Don't be afraid to get kind of chunky with it in some parts, okay? That way it's just kind of like different light and shadow. The reason we still have the dark color on our brush is so that it blends. So if it's not blending right there and it looks like you're just creating a line on top of your trees, then pounce back into that tree color with your brush. Pounce a little bit back in there. That dark on our brush should create a good blend between the two, okay? Look, you guys, we made a tree line. All right, some of us made a tree line. Some of us made something else. Okay, listen. The light is the top of your trees. It's not your whole tree. It's the top of your trees. It's the sky and the sun shining down on those trees, okay? Man, brush down. Thank you. At least it didn't land on your pants, right? Bonus. I'll say it one more time. Sophie's like, I have created a new tree, not yet known to man. I'll say this one more time. If you cannot see your green right now, or you can barely see it, it needs to be lighter. Once it dries, you won't see it at all. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you this piece one more time because there is barely throughout it. What do you see? White. It's like it's sprinkled. Sprinkled. We don't want a whiteout situation. It is sprinkled. I'm not going to wash my brush at all, but I'm going to go to that lime green edge and do just, look at that. Look how much white's on my brush. Barely. And it's on the lime green side. And I'll even come to my plate and pounce a couple times to make sure it's not too strong. And then I'll just barely pounce in some white. Why? Because I want to. Okay? And if you're like, nope, I am not pouncing any more, pounce is over, then just call it. No more pouncing for you. That's fine. I'm just going to sprinkle it with white. I just like it. I just think it's like good. If you get too much white, pounce over that white and blend it right into the green. There's always a solution to it, okay? You are creating a coastline somewhere. All right? Or yeah, that's a coast, right? On the other side? Yep. All right, let's just put our nice pouncy brush into our dirty water and let it be once you're done. Okay? And you can leave it there through the rest of class. Natalie cannot wait to wash it. Okay? Ooh, you scared me. What? Same brush, and I used the corner that has the lime green on it, not the dark. Guys, let's finish this baby, shall we? Please, okay. At some point, you have to accept your trees as they are, okay? Let's go back to our sun. I had a few people say they liked it white for a moon. You can keep it white. I'm going to quickly load my biggest brush, the brush we've been using the whole time, with white paint, and I'm going to put another layer on it real quick. Big flat. Yep. I will only switch to my little one for my birds. Okay? So if you're not doing trees, you're using this one. If you're not doing birds, it's this one. Yeah. All right. I know. Well, yours are good too. All right, let me remind you, you are like a foot away from your canvas for 2 hours. You see everything you don't like. Okay, that's great. Belongs on like Stranger Things or something. It's the upside down. You have made the upside down. Our paintings look best from far away, and they look really good the next day because we need to step away. Okay, Natalie, white right here. Fill in your moon or sun again. White paint. Okay, once I fill it in with white paint, I'm going to take my brush that is full of white paint, and I'm going to dip a corner of it in yellow. And then on the left side of my sun, I'm going to make a C with my yellow, okay? Okay? And then I'm just going to brush that C in there, kind of fade it in a little bit. Keeping one part of it pretty white, okay? Just so you know, yellow on the camera comes off incredibly saturated, really bright. So if you're like, my moon is not, or sun, whatever this is, my moon sun is not as, it's a spun. All right. I'm going to hold this one up close so you can see what you're doing or what you're trying to achieve. Maybe it all turns yellow. It's totally fine. It's a sun. It's a moon sun. It's both in one. Because we are most critical on ourselves. Same reason why you don't like yours, even though it looks pretty good. Nobody believes me when I compliment their art, but I have seen a lot of art over the years. I have also been in your spot where you are just learning, okay? Started painting when I was 7, so there's a lot of years. No, I started paint lessons when I was 7 years old. No, this takes work, guys. Like anything. I'm sure some of you are dancers, gymnasts, soccer players, whatever. You don't just walk onto the field and know what to do, okay? You didn't know you were going to get so much inspiration tonight, did you? Okay, I see some things are happening with some of your suns. Remember, once you're in the sticky phase, that's good, leave it. It looks good. Once you're in the sticky phase, you're lifting instead of laying down paint. If you're in that phase, stop. You can do your sun at the end of class. It's okay. All right? Okay, let's do our waterfall, and then we'll do our birds, then we'll sign our painting, and we'll all be so proud of ourselves. The white specks. Did you put your pounce in the water? Your pounce is in the water, Sophie. It's okay. Do we have another? I'm going to call her Sophie. Do we have another pouncy brush? We just need a dry one. Does anybody have a pouncy brush that they're done with but not in their water? Can we have it? Use it? Are you done with it? I'll give it back when I'm done. Okay? So, you're okay. I'm teasing you. You know that, right? A little bit of white. Just like that. And then pounce really lightly. Okay? Is that what you made? So use this one and just gently pounce when you're done. See the girl, raise your hand who lent us the pouncy brush. Can you just hand it to her when you're done in case she needs it? Here you go. And then you can put that one in the water. We're done with it. All right, let's do our waterfall. Oh no, it's about to get real. Okay, let's get as much. We don't want our brush super wet for this step, so just kind of get your big flat one. Yeah, we just brush it. It's not too wet. Okay? Are you getting it, Sophia? Okay. All right, so our waterfall's right here. It's coming off of this section, right? Did someone just ask for something? Does everybody have white? Okay, Natalie, there's a hand up for white, I think. All right, here's our waterfall. It's coming off in a curve. Do you see this? We're curving our brush. You can take your waterfall off your canvas if you want. I did that at first, and I personally did not like it. If you want to do it, that's fine. I like to just end my stroke so it breaks and it's not all the way off the page. Get your mostly dry flat brush, load it with white paint. Come over here to your waterfall, start at the top. Yep. See how I'm curving off my rocks down into my, okay? Okay. If I were to put pressure, I'll use my hand. If I were to put pressure from the beginning of my stroke to the end, it's just a straight line. I put pressure in the beginning and then I let go. And then what happens? The waterfall. Okay? If I just pressure the whole time, I just have a line. But I pressure at the beginning and then I pull away and it breaks. See, my stroke is breaking. So pressure at the beginning of your waterfall and then pull away. Okay? And we are going to put in one layer here of just white. We're going to fill in our birds, and then we're going to come back to this and put in a little bit of turquoise, add some little shadow, because that's really fun. So fun. It's like nothing to it. So make sure as your water is falling, it's falling at different speeds, I guess. Some of it's coming down a little ahead of the other. Do you see that? Some of it ahead of the other. Beautiful. You can do the same brush stroke with the toe of your brush. So you can pressure the whole time, or you can press and then pull away. So if you need some streaks of water coming a little further, press and pull away. Okay? Did someone leave? Are you 100%? Okay. Will you just check and make sure she's getting into a vehicle with her mom, or if she just decided she was done? Her waterfall is over. I will not have a runaway on my watch. She good? Okay, thanks, honey. All right. So after you put in your nice first layer of water, wash your brush, and then go to your detail brush, and with black paint, fill in your cute little birds. Okay? It's the scariest part. All right, the biggest tip I can give you is to water down your black paint. The thinner it is, the smoother your paint will go onto your canvas. And your paint has been sitting here now for almost 2 hours. Let's make it melted ice cream consistency. How do I do that? I dip my little tiny brush in water. I bring that water over to my black paint, and I water that black paint down. And I mix gently because our detail brush gives us what? Details. If it has a bad hair day, it gives us awful details, okay? So we are gentle with our detail brush, so it gives us what we want. And then we hope that we can still see our birds. Otherwise, make some V's, girls and boys. Make some V's. All right. Here we go. I'm just going to fill this in. So our brush reacts to pressure. If I'm touching my canvas really lightly, I'm going to get a nice tiny brush stroke. If I press down, this little tiny brush will actually give me a pretty thick line, okay? So this, the bird that's flying the highest on your canvas, I don't think you have a head. I don't think the head was traced. Yeah. So I think it's just because she couldn't get that for you without complications. So just kind of put a little circle in there. See that? Okay. Give it a head. We do not want a headless bird. Got our cute little birds going in. You can put another one if you're like, ooh, I want a bigger flock. I want a bird in my tree. I want a bird going across my sun. This is your painting. You can flip your canvas upside down. If you're like, wow, my arm's exhausted. This is too tall. I can't do this. Flip it upside down. How are we doing on our birds, ladies and gentlemen? I always say ladies because I mostly, it's rare that I have some men in here, so I'm not forgetting we've got some men in here too, but how's our birds? I better hear some positivity. Thank you. Yes. Natalie, behind you needs white. When you're done with your cute little birds, just wash your brush nice and gently, right? Because we're being gentle with our little brush. And then just set it aside. Guys, we're almost done. Is there anybody that happens to be pleasantly surprised at what they have accomplished tonight? Hey! See? Yeah, if you're like, wow, I did that. Yeah, and you painted for 2 hours on a huge canvas. Yes, almost 2 hours. Let's see. In 10 minutes, we will have been painting for 2 hours. Shay, I like your blue. That's rad. All right. I'm going to give you guys another couple of minutes to do your birds because we have a couple of minutes because holy cow, we're like ahead of our end time for the first time ever. So beautiful. Nice job, Robin. Oh, look at these trees over here. Nice. How we doing, you two? When's the day? I'm on the mic. October 14th. Congrats. I'm happy for you guys. All right. Looks good. Are you just like there are no birds? Okay, that's all right. She's like, not today. No birds in the sky today. These are awesome, guys. Really, really good. This is a challenging piece, so give yourself some grace. Do you see that hand? Sometimes it takes us a couple of days, too, to step back and be like, wow, I did that. No, it's not perfect, but I'm impressed that I did that, you know? I love that he just sits out there. He must have a good book to listen to. Oh, is he? I know, isn't it crazy? I know. That's pretty impressive. Say that again.
When they get into high school.
Yeah, then it really starts to. Yeah. Okay, friends, make sure your big flat brush is clean. All I'm going to do with my waterfall is do another layer of white, and then add a few streaks of turquoise in it. So if you're still doing birds or trees or whatever, just know that's what I'm doing, and you can get to it if you need the time, okay? So I'm going to load with white, and I'm going to come over my falls again, okay? Sometimes it takes a few layers, or even sometimes I kind of like pounce this brush right here on that rock edge to make sure that it's nice and thick right there, right? That's where most of the water is. So come down. So then, guys, that's the amount of turquoise I put on my brush. Just a little corner. And then I'll just add and blend it in, okay? You don't want to go above that like that. If you get too much turquoise in any spot, just go back to your white and lighten it. So we're just playing off the idea that when the water comes over, some of it's shadowed a little bit, some of it's a little lighter. So just add teeny tiny bits of turquoise to your brush. Make sure the white is still on your brush. Blend it in. Go back to your white if you need to. Okay. You don't want to have a turquoise waterfall. So I know I got a lot of turquoise too. So I wiped the turquoise off my brush and went back to just white to go over that. You have a black waterfall? You know, things happen. Maybe there's some mud going over the falls. We're just going to go with that, okay? You guys, what a fun painting. I hope you had fun pouncing with your pouncy brush today. It's very pounceable. When you are 60% happy with your painting, go ahead and sign your name, okay? We're going to go with a 60%er, and I'm just realizing I never signed the original one, and I know why, because I had the hardest time finding a place for it. Oh, wow, you guys know. Okay, so I think I'm going to go right here. This feels right to me. I'm going to sign with white. You can sign with whatever you want, okay? Make sure you use your tiny brush. You don't want to sign with your pouncy brush or your big flat, okay? Alora, don't go signing with your pouncy brush. What was I going to say? Sign your name, guys. Our signature gives ownership, means we're proud of our work, and no matter how it turned out, in your mind right at this moment, sign it, because tomorrow's a new day. You might be really proud of it tomorrow, okay? In a few years from now, you'll look back and you'll say, oh my gosh, I did that, okay? Oh my gosh. I'm getting better and better. Okay? You can sign your whole name, initials, first name. You can put a heart as your signature. I have a customer that does a snowman every time. Little tiny snowman. Yeah. I have one that does like a something from Star Wars, a fighter thing. Yep, one of those things. No. Like the little. Anyway, sign your painting however you would like, but just sign it, okay? When you're finished, it would help my helpers so much if you just put all your brushes in your jar, okay? That's all you have to do though. The painting goes home with you. You can use the blow dryers. Keep them on low so that you don't start a fire on your canvas, okay? We want to not burn it today. Also, your aprons stay here, so try and remember to leave your aprons. I would love pictures of anybody that is up for a picture. I'll be standing over by the wall for that. I can even help you guys take pictures if you don't want to pose for me, but you want to have pictures. I can help with that too, okay? You guys were so much fun. Thank you for coming. I hope you love your painting. Okay, hang it up. Don't closet your painting, okay? Okay. Hold on, let me go ahead and end this.